It's not a secret how much free quality information WagerTalk, SportsMoma, and the Gold Sheet produce. And next up, we're giving out the WagerTalk College Basketball Guide. This might be the most informative collection of sports betting info we've ever produced. We're covering returning starters, offensive, defensive, and tempo rankings, recruiting rankings, head coaching info and background, and so much more. Even if you are the casual basketball fan, head over to the Ralph Michaels page and download this amazing guide for free.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today. It's go time. Teddy covers looking good. Love the blazer. Matches the background screen. Might not award a purple shirt underneath it, but hey, you're you, I'm me, and I'm Lawrence Presman. Dave Cokin on today. We're going USC, UCLA, San Diego State, BYU, Washington versus Oregon, and of course, Oregon. And Canadians never get that right. And of course, Gianni the Greek. Excited to have him, Dave, Navy and Army, Falcons, Chargers, and the Cubs, Swanson, Pinata, and MMA game. I'm mumbling. It's COVID time. That's our lead story, Teddy. Ohio, Michigan State. Man, when was the last time this insane rivalry wasn't played?
I have no idea when the last time it wasn't played. I know that it gets played every year. It's not being played this year. I know that we had 3 ACC Big Ten Challenge games canceled. On Friday night's college football card, there were 4 games scheduled. Now we have 1 remaining. So there's been a fair bit of COVID cancellations across sports in recent weeks. The one sport that's been able, despite the criticism, they've been able to keep every game going is the NFL. Because the NFL has infinite resources to throw at the problem. But we're clearly seeing a time now where, it's been all season that things have been affected. Now that the outbreak here in the States has pretty much gone viral and is out of control as it gets, we're seeing the impacts in the sporting world. Nonetheless, Prez, the good news, of course, is that last summer we didn't know we'd have any sports. We got all fall's worth of sports, and even despite the cancellations, despite the ACC Big Ten Challenge games going down, despite no Michigan, Ohio State this weekend, there's still plenty of options for bettors in NFL, college football, and college hoops where all the games are being canceled. So we have to look at, despite the issues that we're going through right now, as bettors, they're not easy. But at least we've got sports still going on. At least we still have stuff to bet on and try to find some positive expectation wagers.
And Teddy, is this Michigan-Ohio State game going to affect the championship, the 4 Ohio State getting in? They only have 5 games under their belt.
Sure, Press. How do I make fun of you in a nice way? For a guy
Dave
who's supposed
Cokin,
to be
everybody,
show,
let's just bring that.
That's kind of a headline that you might want to be aware of. The Big Ten just changed their rules, allowing Ohio State to play for the conference title, which then in theory would allow them to play for the national title should they win that game. But that's something the Big Ten just adjusted their rules on the fly for yesterday to the benefit of some and for the criticism of others. The big headline, Prez, you probably saw it somewhere.
Okay, thank you, Teddy. Dave Cokin, man, I love having you with us. Missed you. How you been? How's this last week been going for you? What's going on in your world?
The basketball's been terrible. It's just terrible. So I'm going to probably take a couple of days break from that and try and figure out what's going on. Football, I'm all right. And got some big stuff coming up this weekend. I just posted a 5% play, and I've got 4 other plays. I've got a free play. I might add a couple more. I'm waiting on information on those. So very enthused about the weekend in football. And by the way, as far as Ohio State and Michigan goes, I've got no problem with them changing the rules. There are no rules this year. There are no rules.
I agree.
Well, they're just aren't. And what are they supposed to do? Say, oh, no, we don't want however $15 million or whatever for a playoff game. Of course they're going to be given a chance to get to the playoffs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nobody said there was anything wrong with that. I feel like
yeah, a lot of
it
people.
should
Oh,
be
a lot of
wor-
people are. Twitter is in an uproar with the high and mighty. So, oh, they're changing the rules.
Well,
There aren't any rules. The Big Ten wasn't even supposed to play. They changed that rule. So did the Pac-12. So did the MAC and everybody else. There are no rules. You change things on the
Dave,
fly. That's all. That's the way it goes.
I'll make this super easy. Incredibly smart, successful, wealthy, intelligent people do not spend all day on Twitter. They are actually working and living. Angry people use Twitter to be angry. With that said, we use Twitter for a lot of stuff, but I mean, this outrage, this permanent outrage. The sun is too yellow. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just never ends.
My Twitter feed is much better because it's all sports and occasionally a good animal video. Posted a real good video a couple of days ago that hopefully a lot of you saw with the 2 dogs, and the older dog, the little dog, was blind, and his buddy was helping him get down the stairs. It was a beautiful video. So check it out.
Well, I'm warm just listening to it.
Oh, you should see it. It's great.
I will. I'm going to check it out. A shout out to a shout out. He logs on every day to his lunch break. He loves the show, so we appreciate that. Dave, let's get straight into it, man. USC -2.5 versus UCLA, a total of 54. How are you attacking this game?
Well, actually, I just posted this game as one of my weekend best bets. It's not the 5% play, but it is a play that I like. And I think the line has just gotten to a point now where you got to play USC, or at least I'm going to play. You don't have to, but I will. I made USC. I don't have the number in front of me, but I made him considerably more than where this number is. And the fact that it's dropped below a field goal, to me, it might be sharp. It is sharp money that's coming on UCLA. But this is one of the points I try and make all the time about sharp money and following sharp money. If you do so, you end up getting the worst of the line. In this case, you've gone through a key number. And now, to me, the value is with the Trojans. They're still the better football team, in my opinion. If they play their game, they're going to beat UCLA. And -2.5 is a favorable line.
And it feels like money is coming against USC just about every week. I know money poured in against them last Sunday against Washington State, and that didn't turn out to be a smart move. The Trojans obviously blew them out in that game, but we've seen consistent anti-Trojans money in the markets. What do you make of that, and why is that coming, Dave? Any ideas?
Yeah, I think part of it is the fact that the market still thinks Helton stinks. I don't disagree with them. And USC, kind of had a couple of wins that were a little bit sketchy, but they managed to get them. Fact is, they're still unbeaten. I mean, the pressure is on USC in this game. They're the team with the perfect record, and if they want to make an argument at least that, hey, we belong in the playoffs, they've got to win this game. So the pressure's on them and not UCLA. And the Bruins have done well. They think they've exceeded expectations. I think I'll admit that my number on them was a bit off going into the season, but I still think USC's got better personnel. At a 2.5, I just can't resist it.
Yeah, Dave, it's funny. I mean, you sent this to me last night. I looked at the USC UCLA game, and I thought to myself too, what a short line. So I'm with you on that. San Diego State, BYU. This team just didn't show up last week. -16
I don't know about
now.
that.
Okay, they showed up.
I thought
physically.
they played. I watched the game. I thought they played a good game. Coastal Carolina just turned out to be better than people think. This was a game and I obviously circled San Diego State here because it's a gigantic letdown spot for BYU. They wanted to make their case for at least being included in the playoff conversation by going unbeaten. Well, that's done now. And the way they lost the game, getting stopped at the 1-yard line on the last play of the game, boy, that is a very tough loss. But the odds makers know the same thing we do as fans, handicappers, analysts, whatever. And this number came a lot cheaper than it should have on the power ratings. So they built the letdown factor into the line. That's something that you have to factor into your own handicapping, because you can look at this and say, well, boy, it's a bad spot for BYU, and it is. But is it a bad spot where the line's 5 points off where it should be? Because based on the power ratings, the number of this game should have been about 19. And that's why you're seeing it start to tick up. The math guys are going to play BYU here because the number was short. Those of us who combine the numbers and the situations, I think we end up backing off. That's what I did. I'm not going to take what is obviously not the right number on San Diego State. But I don't want to play on BYU. I don't want to play against. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to play on BYU here because I just don't know how much they're going to care about this game.
Yeah.
And I know you're not a totals guy, Dave,
No.
But with the total here sitting 48 and a half, San Diego State, all they want to do is shorten the game. It feels like the type of contest where offensively, I don't know that we're going to see Zach Wilson's best game, and San Diego State's secondary is truly elite.
Yes.
It feels like an under game to me. I know you're not a totals guy. Does it feel like an under game to you?
Feels like it, which means it probably goes over because I'm just the worst on totals. That's why I don't play him.
Dave Cokin, everybody, a college football machine. You're having a good NFL season, Dave. So congratulations on that.
And right around 60% for the season in the
that's
NFL.
Amazing.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And have not really gotten. I'm not doing anything on tonight's game, so I haven't really gotten into the weekend yet. Don't know what I'll have in the NFL. Although there's one game that certainly on line value jumps out to me, so I'll probably be involved in the Steelers-Bills game.
Excellent stuff.
I'm sorry, but the wrong team's favored. I mean, if Buffalo goes out and beats them, that's great. And I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's a complete overreaction. Buffalo should not be the favorite in the game.
Well, there you go, guys. Dave Cokin just gave you a bet he's making. I'm guessing.
Probably.
I'm guessing it's Pittsburgh.
Probably.
Teddy,
I'm not locking
Teddy,
myself into that because, the information's come through so late on NFL games this season that it's best to hold off. Might find out 8 guys aren't playing for Pittsburgh in this game, and that kind of alters everything.
Yeah. And Dave's given us 2 bets on the show already. He also said that USC was a client play and something he's taken out of money out of his pocket to wager on. So I know there's a third game you want to talk about, Dave, or did you? What did you want to talk about, Prez? The fact that I trimmed my beard that bothers you somehow.
You were bragging to me that you weren't going to shave until like March.
I'm not going to shave. I didn't shave. The beard stays trimmed, dude. I don't let the beard get Cokin-esque. Which is, and he doesn't even have a big one. But for me, as soon as it starts, I keep it regularly trimmed. So it's a short. I got the Yasser Arafat look,
Oh, God.
What was the third game? I don't remember the third game.
The third game, Dave, is Washington versus Oregon. Oregano. Canadians can't pronounce that place. -6. What do you got?
Wait a minute.
It's Washington State, Oregon.
Washington State, yeah. I don't know that Oregon cares anymore. This season's gotten away from them. And Washington State is not as talented as Oregon. There's no question about that. But they might want it more. The problem I have is you want to run the ball on Oregon. Oregon's rush defense absolutely sucks. And Washington State wants to throw it more. So it's not really the kind of matchup that I want, and I won't make a play on the game. But I don't want to be part of the Ducks at this point. If you like Oregon, better to back them in basketball with Dana Altman because there it is. There's the video. I don't want any part of Oregon. I think Oregon might not give a rat's ass at this point. That's the BYU game. If you think BYU's in a letdown spot, which they are, Oregon's been in a letdown spot now for 3 weeks. They're playing. They have not recovered from the Oregon State collapse, and I don't like the way that team's playing. I don't like what Cristobal's doing in terms of getting the team focused to play. To me, they're an unbettable team right now. So Wazoo or pass, and I'm going to ultimately pass on the game.
When it comes to December college football, and again, we don't normally get a lot of games in December. This year, we're getting a whole bunch. But my number one strategy, Dave, long-term is find a team that's done and bet against them.
Yep.
It sounds at least a fair bit like you're thinking the same boat with these Oregon Ducks.
Yeah. The only problem is that sometimes you still can't play the other side because it's just a bad matchup. And that's kind of the case for me here. I mean, if Washington State isn't going to do what Oregon does worst, which is stop the run, Oregon might just beat them anyway. I mean, they've got more talent.
Dave Cokin, I got to put you on the spot here. We got people in the chat room requesting. Tonight, we got a game, Florida Atlantic Southern Miss. Any thoughts? Are you in play?
No. Now, Florida Atlantic, their offense is horrible. And Southern Miss, they can't, they got their new coach, and now it's just a question of, getting this season over with and turning the page. The quarterback's either sick or injured again. He's out. I don't want any part. No, absolutely no interest in the game. Teddy, any thoughts?
I have no action on the game. I'm in action on the other college football game tonight, Pitt, Georgia Tech. But I did not get involved in the Southern Miss game.
Awesome stuff, guys. Dave, we got the video you were talking about. We're going to cue it up. We're going to show it. There it is. Let's go. Great video, everybody. I'm a dog lover.
It's a great video. That's
Dave,
what dogs. The dogs are the best species on earth.
Okay, we'll go with that. I prefer lions myself.
Watch the little tail wag. There's the little tail wag. The little guy made it down the stairs, and he's happy. So there you go. Good video.
Little guy. Everybody, Teddy's big game breakdown later on in the show. The Rams and the Pats. So we got that game covered. Dave, I can't thank you enough for joining us. You're awesome.
Get the 5% play. Most people are going to hate it.
Well, but that's probably a good thing. Yeah. 9-1, right? 9-1 college football 5% run. 10-1. Yeah, guys, make sure to get that plate from Dave Cokin. Legend in this space. Thanks, brother. Get out of here. We're right back. Tons more coming up.
This weekend, Gianni the Greek went 11-1 in the NFL, topped by his 5% big move on the Denver Broncos. On the season, Gianni is ranked number 1 in the NFL and up 125 in profit behind a 59% winning percentage over 299 releases. Right now, you can lock in all of his NFL selections through the regular season for $199. As an added bonus, we will include the playoffs and Super Bowl for free. To take advantage of this offer, just go to Gianni's expert page and purchase his NFL special for $199, locking him in all the way through the Super Bowl. No coupon is needed for this special, but this is a limited time offer, so act fast.
It is time for some bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. A little recap of what happened in the betting world yesterday. And I'll tell you what, it started early yesterday. The first game of the day, noon Pacific tip. And of course, it's Loyola Chicago minus 36 against Chicago State. You can't have a bad beat there. Yeah, you can. Minus 36. The Flames never led by more than 35 until the last shot of the game. And then boom, put them up 37, 88-51 final. You got plus 36 in your pocket. You're covering literally for 19 minutes and 50-something seconds. Yeah, that's the way it went. What about Northern Iowa? I was Ralph's 5% winner was on Richmond yesterday. Northern Iowa led plus 9.5 at halftime. Ended up losing by 10. But it was a 15-point game in the final minute, then a 3 at the buzzer cut the final margin to 10. So it was actually just a bad first half for the Richmond Spiders. Not necessarily a bad beat there. When you talk about bad bets, let's see. Maryland, Clemson. They were steaming the over, 67-51. Final still finished 15 points under the closing number. Furman, +2 up to +3.5. They rallied back against Cincinnati. 2-point game with 13 seconds to play. The Bearcats hit the free throws. They won by 5. Furman money, not so hot. But Cal Bakersfield. Let's see. They bet them against Arizona last night, +19 down to +16. The Wildcats won that game by 25. Xavier got bet up yesterday. You watched that game. Xavier -1 to The +1 to -3.5. They lost by 22 to Oklahoma, 99-77. The bettors were all wrong on that one. And then Indiana, Florida State, the game went to overtime last night, 69-67. The under 139.5 still cashed despite the 5 extra minutes of basketball. We talk about bad for the books. What do we got? Rhode Island and Wisconsin landed right in the middle. That line bounced 10.5, 11, 11.5 all day. Landed right on 11. Doesn't matter which side you had. You had Wisconsin, you're supposed to win. You had Rhode Island, you're supposed to win. The bettors cashed on both sides of that ball game. Georgia Tech, let's see, they were +1 at the open. They closed -3 at Nebraska, won that game by 11. That wasn't a great result for the house. UCLA steam, they were bet up to -20. They beat San Diego by 27. And there was a big move towards Pitt yesterday. The wise guys all over the Panthers. They rallied from behind, +4.5 down to +2. Big second half rally. They won outright at Northwestern. That was not a great result for the house. And Pitt, since that ugly opening day loss, 3-0 straight up, 2-1 against the number. There you have it. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. A little college football, college hoops action from Wednesday. Back to you, Prez.
Well, thank you, Teddy. And it's a cold day in hell when I get to correct you, brother. What did you say wrong in that breakdown?
I think multiple things I said wrong, but I would give for that particular breakdown. I think I botched a couple of things. Why? Well, yeah, and I hope the chat caught me.
Oklahoma lost by 22, not the other way around. Yes. And it was a blowout from the beginning to the end, man.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Ralph Michaels, by the way. He had a 5% play on Richmond, put the line up at -9.5. By the time I bet that play, it had dropped to 8. Hit 10. He won. But I'll tell you, man.
Did you hear me reference that game and referencing Ralph's 5% when I talked about it?
Yeah.
You're just repeating stuff I already said 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. I was busy working on getting Gianni on the show. Oh, that could be okay. So we'll go to Gianni in a second. We got some business to take care of, Teddy. Firstly, I want to welcome everyone in. Dutch Boy, Big Daddy Money, 6 1s and a K, Schmidt, Mark Mason, RV, Jim Teppy, Wes, Nate. Love you guys. Thanks so much, all of you guys, for being with us. Please, 280 of you live, only 73 likes. And we have a winner for the contest that we ran yesterday. M. Phillips 3703. Guess that your chart behind you 04, 14, 15. Is that correct, Teddy?
Okay, let's start with 14 things that are wrong with what you said. It's not a chart. That's what's known as a betting board, Prez. When you go into a casino, you see a betting board. Are we going to do
this whole show?
If you're going to call it a chart, the chart behind you, I don't even know where to go with that. Second, you can see very clearly if you look right above my head, okay? See right there? That's the date.
Good.
Okay, so all you have to do is look at that date and then send it in. And somebody did that. Yes, it is April, from April 14th, 2015 was when the photograph was taken. Great. I had it blown up into a banner. It's put behind me. Congratulations on reading the date above my head. And hey, it's worth 100 wager bucks. That's worth something.
Yeah. M. Phillips, email me, Prez at WagerTalk. Let's bring him in, brother. Gianni the Greek. Gianni, I got to welcome you to the show. I got to apologize that you got to put up with Teddy. He's in a mood. He might correct you a lot. And I got to congratulate you, man.
So you guys know.
He can't hear us, Teddy, which is a good thing for him because you and I are not on our A game today.
Well, I know you're not. And clearly we're both not on because I botched a couple of stuff on BBBBBB. So you can throw the finger right back at me, Prez. But the good news, of course, is that the show's not even half done. So we have plenty of time to turn things around and bring your A game. It's like James Harden isn't hitting in the first quarter doesn't mean he's not hitting in the fourth. Bring it.
Nicely said. Gianni, can you hear us yet?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. I hope I'm coming across well. It's a little vibrating, but if you guys can hear me good, we're ready to go.
Brother, I am pumped. I get to brag about you. Check this out, okay? Check this out. Never had a losing year at Wager Talk. Number one in total profit 2020. Total profit close to 300% return. Sick. Number one this season in the NFL, 145% ROI. 11-1 this past Sunday, which is like, wow. Number 3 in college football this year. Number 2 already in college basketball. Number 2 in this year in MMA. Number 1 in soccer. Number 1 in golf. Number 2 in boxing. Number 1 in NASCAR. Best teeth out of anybody who comes on this show. Awesome wife. Life is freaking good, baby.
God bless America, baby. Thank you.
Okay,
honestly,
well, we got to.
I love Decembers, and I do. This is my favorite month because it's the river. Like, all the nonsense has to stop. We're now in December. You've had 11 months of betting. We saw the tweets of streaks, and we saw this and that and all. It's December, baby. Let's put the cards down. Let's show the cards finally. We did all our bluffing. We raised. We played the hand. Now it's time to put the cards down to see how we did. And numbers don't lie. Again, man, I don't like to get too excited. It's been a good year, a good month, a great last week. But I don't like people to have unrealistic expectations. The reason I'm up close to 300% isn't because I'm going to win for you every bet, every day, every week, or every month. I'm not going to do that for you. So let's not get it twisted. But what I am going to do is give you good bets. And long term, when we place enough of those, I'm going to be up money. And there's nothing your bookmaker can do about it because I have an edge. I just need to place enough bets and I'll be up. And for me, I just hope that message comes across because we're in the world of gambling Twitter where everyone out there is winning. Everyone winning. It's so easy to beat the sports books and make a living just betting sports. And I'm here to tell you
Gianni,
it really isn't.
Breathe, Gianni. Really quick, I watch a lot of our competitors and their videos and their Twitters and whatnot. One guy was like 82-3 or something. So I'm like, I got to watch the video. He's like, he puts videos up of his picks. So I'm like, he can't be lying. It's literally documented on YouTube. So this is how he figured out he was 82-3. He does only 6-team, 6-point teasers. If he wins 5 of those 6, he's 5-1 in his count. Even though the teaser actually lost and he's really 0-1, he considers himself 5-1. Anyway, guys.
I'm sure his subscribers are happy.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, guys. The rest of Gianni's NFL, $199 all the way to the Super Bowl. It's regularly $345. Head over to WagerTalk.com. $199. Dude, let's go. Navy, Army -7. 38, dude. Do they expect Navy to score?
No, and this is the lowest total I think they've ever had. Let's not forget, it's been a lot long ago. These totals were in the 50s between these two teams. So it's a huge difference this year. I only bet 2 college games this week. I gave one on bet on it, so I wanted to give something different here. And it's that Army side. And I piggybacked one of the groups that bet it because I agree with it. Listen, this is a rivalry, and we've seen historically a lot of competitive games. But when one team is so much better, those have tended to turn into one-sided affairs, meaning they have respect for each other, but there's still that competitiveness where you will run it up if you get the chance. And I think Army's just so much better than Navy this year. And even though this is Navy's Super Bowl and they're going to come motivated, I just don't think they have the players to get it done. They won't be able to stop that run. And I think this game slowly but surely starts to get away from them. And in the second half, you see Army just pull away and win this one by, double digits easily.
So, first of all, Prez, it's called the Army-Navy game. That's just one of those things. It's Army Navy. It's not Navy Army. It's the Army Navy game. Second, you talked about this total. It was at 38 when these two teams met 2 years ago. But of course, it's now been 10 consecutive unders in this series. And the last time they got to more than 38 between these two teams, 2013. Even though this total is low, really low, you're going to play it. You playing the under, or do you think there's finally value to expect somebody to get going on offense and send an Army-Navy game over the total?
I would look to the under or leave it alone. And the reason's simple. Teddy, you've been here as long as I have. So you remember when there was a time they never put baseball totals lower than 7. It didn't matter if it was Pedro Martinez against Greg Maddox. We were getting 7 with the under heavily favored, right? That's what they did. Yep. Eventually, it took them a few decades, and they realized we could go to 6.5. Hell, we could go to 6 if they're that good. And now it's not rare to see a 5.5 when there's a stud pitcher. And I think when it comes to college football, unless there's snow and weather involved, you can probably only go so low. You know, it may sound real simplistic, but to me, I try to keep it simple. And I think it's one of these cases where it's as low as you can offer it, but it's probably not even low enough. Because like you touched on, it's been how many years since they've been able to put up more than this? So nothing really tells me to go over it. But with that said, I do think some of the line value's definitely been extracted because we're looking at a 38 and not a 42 or 43.
Gianni the Greek, everyone. #1 handicapper at WagerTalk this calendar year. $199 for the rest of his NFL all the way through the Super Bowl. Gianni, on the NFL presidential address, an amazing show with Ralph, Matt, and myself. We do it every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I've been telling people all the time, you know, there's really not, some things in betting are easy. Not a lot, but if you just take the 3 lowest totals on the board in NFL and you bet them under, and you take the 3 highest totals in NFL and you bet them over, you are up substantially. And that's ultimately what this Army-Navy game is, not Navy-Army. That wouldn't be the same game. There's just floors and ceilings that they don't cross. So, yeah, I love that analysis. Great stuff. Speaking of which, let's go to the NFL. Teddy, I hope I don't get this wrong. It's the Falcons-Chargers game, not the Chargers-Falcons game. However, the Chargers are, you're not cutting me off.
What's the name of the Atlanta team? How do you pronounce that name?
Oh, bugger off. Plus 2.5.
Falcons?
Teddy, are we ever going to
do
Teddy, are we ever going to do one single show where we don't argue?
I hope not.
Anyway, you're mocking my accent. I find I live in the world of PC, and I'm hurt. I'm saddened. Gianni, the Chargers plus 2.5, 49 is the total. I'm going to go cry while you take this game apart.
Here's why I picked this game for this segment. I haven't released it yet to subscribers, but I have used it in a teaser as a premium play. And I wanted to talk about that this week because if you look at this week's line, there were going into yesterday, at least I haven't looked this morning, there were 10 sides that are in that realm of teasers where you could put them in that, Stanford Wong positive EV through 3 through 7 teaser. So it's a week you want to look at teasers. And I think tying in the Chargers should be key. Getting them up through that touchdown, to me, makes a lot of sense. And here's why. We have talked about the Chargers before when I faded them against the Jets. They're a team you don't want to lay points with. You want to get points with because they're young, they have offense, and they're going to give you effort. And that leaves the back door open the whole 60 minutes. And I like that from this team. Couple that with the fact they got blown out 45-0 last week. And I think there's some incentive to show up and play a little hard for 60 minutes. And you're getting, over a touchdown on a teaser. Finally, you have Atlanta. The last time they beat the Saints, they bounced back. Great game. Beat the Vegas team. I actually had them that week as one of my better plays. And I thought it was a great spot for Atlanta. Then what happens last week? They lose to that same rival, New Orleans. You're not getting back up this time for LA Chargers. I just think Atlanta's just in a real bad spot, scheduling wise and mindset. I just don't think it's a good situation for them coming off that Saints loss, 2 losses in 3 weeks to that rival. And I think it sets up nicely for the Chargers. I'll probably end up taking them plus the points if I could find a +3, on game day. But I've already tied them into teasers at +8.5, 6-point teaser, because I think it makes a hell of a bet.
Are you worried at all that the Chargers have quit on their coach in their season? Because there were some weird things that happened in the second half of that game, including Justin Herbert going out there, taking hits on pass play after pass play, down 45-0. And I wasn't real happy with the quotes I got out of the Chargers after that game. Are you worried about that at all? Or do you think this is an NFL situation, being blown out the next week, they show up?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. 100%. I think it's a case of your emotions getting the best of you at that time. I think you're an NFL player. You're a professional athlete. Again, these guys, like talking to a fighter after a fight is the worst thing to do. They're extremely emotional, whether they win or lose.
Yeah.
So I think you got to take that, with a little bit of caution and not just bet off of that. With that said, you have to factor it in. I don't think it's a negative, though, because of the fact they are young, meaning this is a team that may have quit on the coach, but I don't think they've quit on themselves, meaning you still have a lot to go out there and prove. You haven't done anything yet. People are excited about this offense a little bit. They're excited for, the stud franchise quarterback, but you're not winning football games. There's no reason for this team to have any, chip on their shoulder or any reason not to play football. You haven't done anything. Again, I like them because they're in that dog role, not a team I'd be comfortable laying points. Completely different story.
Gianni, we got to keep this moving. Guys, make sure to grab his NFL a season package till the end of the Super Bowl, only $199. Dude, I have not, sorry about that. I have not gone deep into the Pineda-Swanson fight of Saturday night. I did take apart the Holland fight, and I really do like Holland. I gave that out a few days ago on the show. What do you like in the Swanson fight? Give us some goods, man. Last week you got it right. Every time you come on with MMA, I honestly think you've won it all.
Yeah, I love this card. This is such a good card to bet. 256, man. This is one of the bets I placed immediately. And here's the reason, man. It's kind of a fade on Cub Swanson because he's coming off that big win against Kron Gracie, where, Kron was the hype, the Gracie coming to the UFC. And it was just too much too soon because Kron couldn't take him down. And when you can't take down Cub Swanson and you don't have a stand-up game, he's going to piece you up. And that's what happened. That's not going to be the case here with Daniel Pineda, who's coming off a great finish against Herbert Burns. To me, I think stylistically it sets up nicely. I think Swanson's best fighting years are behind him. No disrespect. And I just think it's towards the end of his career.
Yes.
And I don't think he's a big enough dog to take him in this spot. I just don't see where he'll beat Pineda stylistically, whether it's standing, whether it's on the mat. I just think Pineda is better. Maybe not 5-8 years ago, but today I like Pineda.
That is great stuff. Dude, one word. I'll give you 2 words. 2 words, and then we got to end this show, this segment. College basketball winner for tonight.
Under New England Rams. I bet I don't have college basketball yet. Not a single college basketball bet I played yet. So I don't want to give an opinion I haven't backed with money, but I do have the under.
A winner's a winner. We'll take it. Under in the Rams game. Dude, it's a pleasure to have you with us, guys. You can see him every single week on Bet On It, the #1 watch show on the WagerTalk TV channel. Gianni, get out of here. Teddy, we're going to be right back with your big game breakdown. Plus, Ralph, we love you, bro.
This weekend, Gianni the Greek went 11-1 in the NFL, topped by his 5% big move on the Denver Broncos. On the season, Gianni is ranked number 1 in the NFL and up 125 in profit behind a 59% winning percentage over 299 releases. Right now, you can lock in all of his NFL selections through the regular season for $199. As an added bonus, we will include the playoffs and Super Bowl for free. To take advantage of this offer, just go to Gianni's expert page and purchase his NFL special for $199, locking him in all the way through the Super Bowl. No coupon is needed for this special, but this is a limited time offer, so act fast.
It's big game breakdown time here on WagerTalk Today. And let's talk Thursday night NFL. We've seen a fair bit of line movement on this one for the Rams and the Patriots. Super Bowl from 2 years ago rematch. Of course, that 13-3 thriller in the Super Bowl between Bill Belichick and Sean McVay. Right now, we're looking 4.5 LA's favored. The money's coming in on the Patriots as we speak. And as Gianni referenced a few moments ago, money on the under as well. 44, the prevailing number. So over the last 2 weeks, the Patriots, back-to-back wins. In fact, they're 4-1 straight up in their last 5 ball games. But when we watch New England offensively, it's dicey. You know, they had 4.4 yards per play on offense last week, but they had 2 special teams touchdowns. The defense set up a third, and the route was on. Blowout win, 4.4 yards per play on offense. Against Arizona the previous week, 3.5 yards per play on offense. The normal NFL average is in the 5.5 yards per play range, 5.4, right around there. So New England's offense isn't working by any stretch of the imagination, even though they scored 45 points last week. All right. Defensively, the Patriots, as we saw last year, it's an elite pass defense, and we've seen that in recent weeks as well. Certainly, we talk about Stephon Gilmore and his ability to shut down teams with one receiver, like he did last week against Keenan Allen and that sort of thing, where the team has one go-to receiver. I trust the Patriots to shut them down. That's not the Rams. All right, the Rams have multiple go-to receivers, and that has been an issue for opposing defenses after not scoring 30 in 6 straight games, the longest in the entire McVay era. They got to 30 last week. And while I don't like Goff against good defense, Goff has failed not once, not twice, enough times that it's hard to trust him laying a price in this range. I don't know that I trust the Rams offense to move the football up and down the field either. The sharp money's all come on the under for this game. It feels like a field goal affair. The Patriots want to slow things down. The Patriots want to rely on their defense. They do not have a dynamic downfield passing game. We've seen Goff get shut down by New England before. We've seen Goff struggle against all kinds of good defenses. Yeah, we're leaning under tonight, 44, the prevailing number. Unfortunately, you missed the best of the number, and you're not going to make money in the NFL when you're chasing bad numbers. All that said, if I had to play the game, I'd be looking at the dog. I don't know what I'd do with the side. I really don't know what to do with the side in this one. But I would be looking at the under, Prez. Yeah, you and I both are botching today. I don't know what's going on. I need more caffeine. Under's the lean. There you have it. Back to you. Big game breakdown complete.
Teddy, we do 5 shows a week, 52 weeks of the year. You can have these moments. But guys, I just want to let everybody know that tomorrow, Friday, we have Rob Vino on and Andy Lang. And Teddy and I are committed to not arguing on tomorrow's show. There will literally be not one single argument. Teddy will not shake his head sideways one time tomorrow. Shout out to you guys in the chat room, the Colonel, Graham, Davey, K-Rash, Joe. We love having you all. Make sure to hit that like button, guys. Really do appreciate it. Teddy, I got a 5% play up for Sunday in the NFL. Those plays are gold. I don't normally promote myself, but I've been doing really well on those 5% plays. You guys can all have it for half price. Use the coupon code PREZ20, P-R-E-Z, or Z as you Americans say, 20. Teddy, everybody has been waiting for your life-changing news, and Joe and I are excited about it, man. Like, it is a big deal. Listen, you were able to accomplish has been it's been an inspiration to both Joe and I. And
whatever this bid is, Prez, whatever the bid is, you've been hyping it all week.
Why are you
just do it.
me? Why? It'll be done tomorrow. You're gonna have to wait one more day. But listen, it's big, and we're proud of you, Teddy. It is a privilege to watch as you flutter away from the nest. So we're excited to share it with everybody, and I'm just excited. And you know what? It'll be on our no argument show, so
yeah,
you won't even be able to argue.
Yeah. So whatever this bid is, you've been bringing it up all week. You haven't introduced the bid, and I'm assuming that it's not very funny. So
maybe
all I know is that you're hyping up something that's nothing, and it's a rough show that you've had all day. Keep going, Prez. Keep throwing distractions.
You're gonna rate my rough show. You literally thought Oklahoma won.
I read it wrong.
A purple shirt under a blue.
It's a red shirt.
And you don't stop. Ralph Michaels, please come in and help us. Hey, buddy, what's going on, dude?
I feel bad for you, Teddy.
Shirt. This is a red shirt.
I feel bad for you, Teddy.
Ralph, every day you come on the show, you speak directly to Teddy. You make him feel good. You're so complimentary of him. How about feeling bad for me? I got to listen to this guy's shit all day.
Well, here's what I want from you, Prez.
Oh, God.
I'm going to critique you. Is that okay on the air, publicly, live?
Yes.
You can't say my 5% are golden. You always say that. You just say they're super, they're great. I want to quantify. I want you to say this. You know what, guys? In my last 22 5% releases since December 1st, 2019, I've cashed 14 and lost 7, 67%. I'm going to do better than that by cashing this week's as well. So I want you to quantify those numbers and not always just say, awesome, good, gold.
That you are 100% right, Ralph. Can you continue critiquing me live on air? I'm not critiquing a 67% record because that's awesome. I'm congratulating you, but those are the numbers the customers want to hear. I mean, and we're talking back since multiple years. So congratulations. Thanks, buddy. Let's get into it, man. What do you got for us?
All right, Teddy, I'm going to make you and Prez both put your thinking hats on because I've got two different things, the angle and the situation, which you're going to make a have to think. All right. The Chicago Bears are 0-17-1 against the spread as a dog if they're off a home game and they went over the total. That's it. They didn't have to win the home game. They didn't have to lose the home game. It just had to go over the total, which likely means their defense didn't play well if it went over. So, Chicago Bears 0-17-1 against the spread as a dog if they're off a home game that went over the total. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or flat hand?
I mean, it doesn't make natural sense to me. It's a stat that it's eye-popping, but I feel like there's a fair bit of randomness in that. Is there a correlation there? What's the correlation between the
this one's sort of data mined, and the difference is, when you're looking for big numbers and you're pulling up, I normally don't look off a home game that went over the total. I'm normally looking off a home loss or a home win as a dog or something that we know was a direct result of how you performed. But when it's a vague performance indicator like it is here, we don't know if they performed well on offense or poor on defense. So I agree with you. I just wanted to see what your thought was on it.
And the one thing that really stands out to me about that trend, Ralph, is that it speaks to the nature of how the Bears have been for the last decade plus or whatever long it's been, is that when their defense isn't getting stops, they're not winning games and covering spreads. It speaks to how important the defense has been to Chicago's success over the course of that in entirety of that trend run.
All right, we have a situational play of the day, which applies to Florida Atlantic this week against a Southern Miss team with no coach and a bunch of COVID issues. But if I tell you when they're an away favorite of 6 or more, the angle has hit 77.4%. When they're an away favorite of 6 or less, it's hit 25%. So there is an exact divide at the number 6. And here's the situation. A college football team with a winning percentage of 60% or higher, who lost their last game and scored under 16 points, and now they're an away favorite of 6 or more. So Florida Atlantic does have a win percentage of 60% or higher. They lost in their last game, and they scored fewer than 16 points. Now they're a solid away favorite of 6 or more. Since 2014, those teams have gone 77.4%, going 24-7. Now, if I stop there, you would say, wow, great angle, makes sense to me. You're off a loss. You're the better team. You have a win percentage of 60%. But what about when I throw in that second subset when they're a small away favorite from -1 to -6? Since 2014, they've only gone 5-15, 25% against the spread.
So that makes sense to me. That makes a ton of sense to me because it speaks about the opponent the next week. When they're laying more than 6 and saying this good team off a bad offensive showing when stepping way down in class. Now they're laying a touchdown plus on the highway, or 6 or more on the road. Many of those, they'd be laying 12 and 15 and 28, whatever. That they can bounce back well against subpar competition. But off that disappointing loss with an offense that's struggling, when they're not facing a bottom feeder, they don't have that same level of success hitting the highway next week. So that's actually one that does make sense, that differential between what you see at 6 points or higher versus below 6. Actually makes sense, Ralph, when you think about it.
Spot on, Teddy. Awesome job. Guys, we got 1 extra minute. I'm just going to mention a tweet I sent out. We all know we talked about historic scoring in the NFL this year. Well, the first 9 weeks of the NFL, 56% of the games went over. The average points were 50.6 points scored, and the average total was 48.3. So that gives you a 56% mark. Since week number 10, only 38.6% of the games have gone over the total. So that means 61.4% have gone under. But listen to this. There's only 3.9 fewer points per game scored. What happened? The total didn't drop. The average total the first 10 weeks was 48.5. The average total the last 4 weeks has been 47.9. It's only dropped 0.6. But we see December scoring way down. We see weather scoring way down. We see grass totals way down in December. I tweeted that out earlier today. So take note. Get rid of that thought that this NFL is this high scoring like we saw those first 9 weeks. Since week number 10, 61.4% to the under.
That stat is gold, Ralph Michaels. Brother, who do you got for the Friends for Ralph segment? Then we got to call it a show. And Teddy and I are going to have to practice all afternoon to not argue with each other for the no argument show tomorrow.
Hey, you know what? Nick Borman gave us a plus 185 winner on Tuesday. He was kind enough to give us another one of his soccer plays today. It is AC Milan. They are -1 goal. You have to lay 105 on the odds, and they're playing Sparta Praha, which is, of course, Prague. So, from Nick Borman, thank you for that 185 winner on Monday or Tuesday. I forgot which day it is. AC Milan -1 goal, and you're only laying 105 in juice.
Outstanding stuff. Fun show, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. A big shout out to Ralph Michaels, Dave Cokin, Gianni the Greek, Joe Ranieri, our incredible producer who does all the hard work and heavy lifting behind the scenes. Teddy Covers, my co-host and partner in crime, and we'll talk tomorrow. It's the No Argument show tomorrow, everyone. So it should be a good one. Rob Vino, Andy Lang doing props, and Teddy's big reveal. We'll see you all tomorrow. Teddy, take us home.
Enjoy the games. Good luck. And if Prez and I practice, you want us to practice not fighting?
There's no other way. There's literally
we'll be fighting in
we're
a 30 seconds. I'll take the under 30 seconds on how long it takes us to brawl. Thanks for watching.
We're gonna call each other. We're gonna call each other on the phone. We're gonna be like, you're gonna start arguing, and then I'm gonna say something kind, and then I'll argue, you'll say something kind, and sort of figure out a way for our chemistry.
But that's not the way it works when we fight on the phone. What happens when we fight on the phone is you say something annoying and I hang up. I say something annoying and you hang up. I'm not going to be kind.
Yeah, well,
kind is not my word. Ralph, thank you. Thank you, audience.
See you guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The NBA is back. Preseason starts this Friday, December 11th. The regular season tips off on Tuesday, December 22nd, and our top 2 NBA cappers have an unheard of special. Both Hakeem Prophet and Rob Vino have agreed to this huge discount. Hakeem Prophet exploded onto the NBA scene in his first year here at WagerTalk. Rob Vino was dominating, picking up 168% profit by hitting 60% on 305 plays. Listen to this deal. Our NBA early bird price was $6.99. The NBA season ticket price was $8.99. But for the next 7 days, get Hakeem and Rob for only $4.99 each. No coupon needed. Just go to their homepage, click on which capper you want for the NBA season, or even click on both. Each only $4.99.